Tam Fam, my guests today have faced life-defining moments where everything changed, but each of them is inspiring us with how they restarted their lives in really extraordinary ways. My next guest, Conley Baker, says she was in third grade when she became self-conscious about her weight. And a few years later, as a teenager, her life became consumed with yo-yo dieting and an eating disorder. Emily says she tried every diet out there and started to believe that she was destined to die young because of her weight. But then came a shattering and tragic wake-up call. And Emily says her broken heart jump-started, turning her journey around for all of us to be inspired by. Take a look.
When I was 30, my dad died at 61. Losing my father was the hardest thing I've ever went through. I felt like my heart was shattered. And I just struggled to put the pieces back together. My father's health absolutely played a factor into his passing. He couldn't get the care that he needed because of his size, because of his weight. I was 320 pounds. It was a wake-up call that I didn't want to do that for my children. In May of 2021, I decided to get weight loss surgery. Once I had the surgery, along with my physical health, I worked on my mental health and then what I was putting into my body through my nutrition. I have lost 130 pounds. The surgery is not the magical drug. You still have to do the work, and it's a lot of work. I decided to start running for my 33rd birthday, and I just started doing little by little, 15 seconds at a time, till I could finally build up my stamina to keep going.
Well, Tam Fam, Emily kept going and went from running at 15 seconds at a time to a little over a year later running the New York City Marathon. Please welcome marathon runner Conley Baker to the show.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you got your medal here.
Yes.
You better pick that up and flaunt that. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, I just love the story. First of all, congratulations on completing it. I watch the marathon.
Yeah.
Sometimes I watch from outside, sometimes I watch on TV, but I'm a watcher. Mm-hmm. How do you go from a few 15-second training to a marathon, the stamina, but also the mental toughness?
Yeah, I realized when I kind of got down like a 5K and a 10K and I set the goal for a much longer run, I realized I had to start working on the mental aspect of it. And part of training is long runs, and those long runs are nothing but a mental playground. Like, you're just working on your mental game from there on out.
But I love that you started small, and also that you're open about having the weight loss surgery.
Yeah.
As I've said to people here, be clear, you can have surgery all day long, weight loss surgery. If you can't put in the rest of the work, I know people personally who could not keep it up, and the surgery meant nothing. So it's a hand in hand. It's not an instant thing that solves it.
Correct. Yeah, and it's funny, I actually spoke to my surgeon just a couple weeks ago, and he had said, about the 6-month mark is when they realize if a surgery will be successful or not.
Oh,
and I look back at my journey, and it was about the 6-month mark, I realized I had to start working on the mental aspects and the why behind why I carried so much weight and why I had so much shame behind it. And I had to start working on that. So it's interesting that at the 6-month mark, that's when I decided to take a different avenue.
What is interesting too, because with the weight loss and in the weight gain over the years, you talk about anger, a lot of it, anger over things you couldn't control. And that impacted how you were eating.
Absolutely. I didn't even realize.
Was it stress eating?
Yeah, in stress eating, but then it became my coping mechanism. I would go to work all day and I wouldn't realize wow, it was stressful. I'm a nurse, so I'm taking care of everyone else. And then I get home and I just realize I need some way to decompress, and I didn't want to deal with the emotions of my day. Yeah. So I turned to food.
I think so many people relate to that. It just, they call it comfort food.
Absolutely.
And it is that. So here you are, and a nurse, right? You're in a health profession. I imagine the emotional yo-yo of that, walking around and knowing that people see the nurse who they see as unhealthy.
Yeah, I almost felt like a fraud a lot of the time, because I was supposed to, like, you lead by example, and I couldn't lead by example. At least I felt solely based upon my physical appearance. And so it really ate at me and it tore at me. I didn't feel like I could then be the best nurse that I could be.
And also as a mom, right? So you're looking at it
100%.
professionally, but the most important patients are the little ones who call you mom.
Yeah.
And they're watching you. When you're working out, you know, were you seeing them as an inspiration?
Oh yeah, yep. And it's funny, so the whole family starts to get involved, and little by little my children are mimicking me and like what I'm doing. And
I mean, they have the wrong team on the Mets, but
the Mets are well loved in our house.
I don't want any trouble from those three because they look like they mean business.
Yes, they're ornery. They're ornery.
And
We'll
they
just
will,
leave it
but
at that.
I sure feel so, you know, if it's Adeline is 9, Flynn is 7, Cora is 4, has to make you proud as a mom knowing the difficult story of what you shared of your own dad.
Absolutely. So it was at that moment when I, lose my father and I feel that heartache inside of me, and I can't fathom the thought of them carrying that heartache as well.
Yeah.
And that was my motivating factor, that when I didn't want to go out and work on, my runs or do my workouts, or maybe I just don't want to eat the best, in the back of my mind, I have to remember my why.
Yeah.
And my why is to be here for those 3.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's your why. Well, coming up, not only did Emily's weight loss allow her to compete in the New York City Marathon, it actually motivated her to make another major change in her life, leading to a new career that she loves. More with Emily and her remarkable restart that is an inspiration for everybody watching next.
Hi guys. My number one question that I'm always asked is, how do you start running? Find yourself an accountability partner. Mine is this crazy little golden doodle. There he goes. Who has so much energy that he just has to get me out and running.
Welcome back, Can Fam. We are talking about remarkable restarts, and we're back with our guest, Emily Conley Baker, who lost 130 pounds and went from being able to run just 15 seconds at a time to running the New York City Marathon in little over a year. Your weight loss, as you pointed out, was part of it, the physical change, but the mental toughness that it takes. You were a bone marrow transplant nurse. You loved your job. That takes mental toughness to care for people. But this change inspired more for you career-wise.
Yes. Yeah, so I don't know, about the beginning of last year, I kind of just had a moment where I realized that my story, it needs to be shared. And I want to take men and women that may be struggling the same way that I was and try to help them through their journey. So currently I'm a personal trainer and a run instructor.
Look at that.
Yeah, and then I'm also working on my nutrition certification and mindset coaching.
So nutrition, mindset, physical training, running. You started out not being able to run 15 seconds.
Correct, yeah.
And now look at this. I mean, are you blown away by this? Because obviously this is the same person.
Yeah.
Your heart doesn't change. You're
Correct.
the person you are. But it does change in some
It does. It's just, I'm always the person that wears my heart on their sleeve, and I'm an open book, but like my ability to love it's transcended. There's
What
so much more
nutritional
of it.
changes did you make? Do you avoid sugar, flour? I mean, like, what do you?
So I've gone to the point where I allow myself what I want, so that way I'm not feeling like I'm deprived or I'm not craving it.
So
in
you
the
do what
long
they
run.
basically call a balance. You moderation, right? So how do you handle the stress eating component? Because that's what you said you dealt
Absolutely.
with. How do you deal with the stress eating?
So that comes up. I mean, just last night I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I worked late, and in my mind, oh my gosh, I have a big day tomorrow. I want to go to food still, but I have to snap myself out of it. I have to be cognizant of why I want to go to that food.
And so you're helping people through that part of your journey. As I said, you're now certified running instructor, your personal trainer. How many titles do you have? My goodness.
I wear a lot of hats. Yeah.
You wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Is one of those hats happiness? Because I think that's what people, it is
absolutely. Like, without a doubt, I am the happiest. This is the happiest version of Emily that I've I didn't even know was possible.
Oh,
Yeah.
Emily, you're blowing me away. I'm telling you. Thank you, Emily. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
On everything. You deserve it all.
Thank you.